To discuss this, we're joined by, by an eminent panel. We're joined by Madhavan Narayanan, senior journalist. We're also joined by PKD Nambiar, political activist, and PK Jain, who's a former IPS officer. If I get the certificate, PKD, for covering a prime minister visit, it's not the first time. We've been covering prime minister's visit for years altogether. It's not new.
I am absolutely against that the very concept of character certificate, and for that matter, in any profession, we should not be asking for it. Forget about journalists. One thing I wanted to tell you that I interact with journalists, a lot of people. I employ a lot of journalists, but one thing I can tell you, they are also not above anybody else. I think that kind of a set of narrative that yes, they are above everyone, that is also not true. But what I have been told, or what I know, is that in a prime minister's program are generally being covered by the PIB registered journalists, and if that kind of an established norm is already there in place, asking for a character certification is a very unwarranted. I believe that no government could have ever taken this decision. It must be, as Madhavanji said, that it must be a bureaucratic adventurism, or maybe a miscommunicated effort. That is the reason the government immediately course corrected it. And I think, and second, and most importantly, is that Narendra Modi as a prime minister is supposed to be a very, very media savvy, very highly communicative prime minister India ever had. We never had a prime minister, maybe we never had a prime minister in the social media era of like this, because before that it was Manmohan Singh, who was not very great with communication. But here is a prime minister who would like to be seen 24 by 7. He is available at least 16 hours. We all know that he is working in front of all of us. And I don't think that with the awareness of prime minister's office, or by the central government, or even by the state government, this could not have happened. This may be a bureaucratic adventurism, and I'm sure that since it is involved with the prime minister's program, they may be conducting some kind of their own survey or an inquiry which needs to be addressed, so that this misadventurism should not be happening in the times to come. One last point.
Yeah.
One of the most important thing is that there is, as Madhavanji said, that institutionalized media is slowly dying down, or those people are also not anymore behaving like an institution. They all are going around all across and just looking at more than news. They wanted to become a newsmaker. So they are trying to create news rather than...
No, I don't know what does the journalist responded. Who would give him a character? Who can, decide on the character of a person till the time the order was withdrawn? But PKD, clearly the opposition has jumped on this issue. We got statements from the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party.
A democracy and a multi-party democracy, people are looking for an opportunity, and they will use the opposition will use and misuse as much as they can. See that we are even debating it, whereas we know that it has already been cancelled. That order was been taken back, but we are still debating it. So that's the beauty of our democracy, I think. But the larger question is that there is the social media has empowered everyone to become a journalist. So today's journalists are not all those institutional journalists of like an X, A, B, C, D, or E. The only thing is that with this, there is a large amount of people, the one who has got a mobile, you don't even require a pen and paper. A mobile is a journalist, and he will say that I have a YouTube channel or a social media channel. I think it's an evolving thing, and the mainstream media is slowly going, also moving away from the traditional practices, which of course Madhavanji will have. It's really hard for all the veteran journalists to digest that. But I see it every day, how the media as an industry is evolving, or evolving for good or bad, we don't know. But it's a very tough time. And no government in a democracy can ever talk about giving character certificate. And why I have an issue of making this has got, you remember, Narendra Modi is the first prime minister in India who has asked for no more certification by attestation by anybody. Remember, yes, you and me as a kids, used to go to even our 10th certificate and 12th certificate to everything. Even for a passport, we need to go to somebody for an attestation. A prime
Yeah.
minister who took away that complete culture of the gazetted officer. Today, nobody talks about who is a gazetted officer. We don't even know whether he is a gazetted officer or not a non-gazetted officer. It doesn't matter, because the only reason why we always used to think of that gazetted officer, because he is the only one who can sign your attest all your copies, true copies. So the self
Yeah.
attestations, the self character certification is a norm which Narendra Modi has introduced. So I may not be able to believe, or I can't believe the fact that it is even at the top rank officers or even the government maybe may not be even aware. As Mr. Jain said, it's very true that it could be a bureaucratic adventure of a junior officer or a mid-level officer who may have, maybe it could be even a typo error of the word, but then of course we know that we have a vibrant media. We all always wanted to have something or the
Okay.
other new thing, and I think leave it there. We are a vibrant democracy, and our
Okay.
media is so vibrant. We are taking, and at least this shows the power of media. The media and the democratic value and the righteousness is still available. I think that is the beauty of this discussion.
Also ignored. But thanks to all of you for joining us today. That brings us to the end of our show. Thanks for watching.